Breaking news just into the Fox 17 newsroom. Guilty on all counts. The jury in the Vanderbilt rape trial delivering that decision just 30 minutes ago.
Now, right now, former Vanderbilt football players Vandenburg and Cory Batey are in custody behind bars, convicted of raping an unconscious classmate in the Vanderbilt dorm room on campus and then taking video with their phones.
Fox 17's Erica Lathan live at the Birch Criminal Justice Center right now with reaction for us. Good evening, Erica.
Well, good evening, Stacey. We can tell you all of this is just breaking within the last half hour. The jurors came back with guilty verdicts for both Cory Batey and Vandenburg, basically finding them guilty of all the charges with only one variation. On one count of the aggravated rape charge, of which they were facing 5, there was an attempted aggravated rape that they were found guilty of, but basically they were found guilty on all the aggravated rape charges, all the aggravated sexual battery charges. Vandenburg additionally found guilty of tampering with evidence and unlawful photography. Now, right now, we can tell you this is breaking, and Warwick Robinson, the attorney who has represented Cory Batey throughout these proceedings, is now speaking to reporters at the podium just behind us. So let's go over to Warwick Robinson so we can hear a little bit of what he's saying about his defendant.
Shed some light on some of the evidence that maybe wasn't considered. Probably shined a light on a national problem. You know, I have said it before, and there's several tragedies in this case. She did not ask for this. She did not deserve this, and I'm sorry that this happened for her. I'm sorry it happened for these boys. I think if you look in these boys' hearts, they're good boys. And if they could change 30 minutes of their life, I said it in my closing statement, 5 minutes made all the difference. If that line at Qdoba had been 5 minutes longer, 5 minutes shorter, paths would have never crossed. But it is what it is. And it was a heavyweight bout. I think the prosecution worked hard, and it showed in court. We worked hard. I think that showed. I hate it for all the families involved, but this is what happens in court. There's generally justice can be harsh.
Mr. Robinson, you described it as a curious decision. You said Cory was distraught about a curious decision. Why do you feel that way? What do you feel about it as curious?
I don't recall using. I said it was a curious decision.
Yeah, that Cory was distraught about a curious decision.
Oh, well, I think this is a shock for him. He said it. The video shocked him, horrified him. I think he knows in his heart what kind of person he is, and the thought of facing 15 years per count, that's a long time. And a 21-year-old, that's almost impossible to process. So I think a kid who's been told his whole life, you're a great kid, keep doing what you're doing, I think he believes that. I believe that, but I can't change 30 minutes of his life that is going to cost him 15 to 25 or more in prison.
Albert, what did Brandon say?
It's hard for a person, I think Mr. Robinson said, it's very difficult for a person who is young to understand what happened, because he asked me what happened, and he just, didn't understand.
Stand by.
Thank you.
All right, and so you heard comments from Warwick Robinson there, Cory Batey's attorney, talking about kind of the weight of this verdict. Again, these are felony charges that carry decades in prison. The aggravated rape charge can carry anywhere from 15 to 25 years. The aggravated sexual battery, 8 to 30 years. We don't know if those charges will be served concurrently or consecutively. So here is a man, Cory Batey, who literally turned 21 today. Today was his 21st birthday, and he's facing between 15 and 25 years in prison. So his family left the courtroom distraught, as did Brandon Vandenburg's family. There was an emotional outburst in the courtroom when the guilty verdicts were read against Vandenburg. In fact, the judge asked that that person be removed from the courtroom. Many people left just in tears, didn't want to speak to the media, just kind of overcome by the verdict and the seriousness of the charges and the possibility that these two young men will now be facing decades behind bars. Because since these are felony charges, they will not leave the courtroom. They are remanded basically into custody because of the felony aggravated rape charge. So this has kind of been the trial of the century, if you will, here. High-profile case involving Vanderbilt University, athletics, sex, these very serious rape charges. So it's taken 3 weeks and several years to reach this point, but finally we have some resolution here. So, of course, we'll have much more coming up in this show and later on tonight at 9 and 10. This is Erica Lathan reporting live from the Birch Building.
Erica, thank you. We should mention sentencing in this case for these two defendants set for March the 6th. Let's take another quick look at the charges. The jury here in Metro, criminal court jury, convicting Cory Batey on all counts, including rape and sexual battery. There were a total of 7. Now, that's the same for Brandon Vandenburg. He's actually guilty on 9 counts, rape and sexual battery, like Batey, plus tampering with evidence and unlawful photography. The judge in this case, Monty Watkins, revoking bond. Both of these men sent directly to the Metro Jail.